Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on this little bracelet, and this bracelet is going to be reversible. Now you don't have to reverse it, but you can reverse it. So this is one side, like that, and here's the other side, like this. So we'll do a little, adjustment at the end to make it reversible. So I'll just give you a look at this one. So isn't that pretty? And then what I did here, so I'm going to pull it around here a little bit. I added some pretty charms because I think it's so much fun in the summer to have charms hanging from your bracelet because you're not wearing long sleeves and it's just nice and dangly. So you can do that. In order to make this reversible, we added a double ring for the toggle clasp, and we'll get to that, and I'll show you how to do everything. So here it is. It's so cute. I was playing with a little pink one, so I think such a pretty bracelet for the summer. So I'm going to clear everything off, get a materials list going, and we'll get started. Let's get a materials list going. So you'll need 2 colors of SuperDuos. I've got a metallic and a color. I've got 2 11-0s, metallic and a color. I've got an 8-0 in a metallic. I mean, you could change your colors here. And then I've got a 15-0. I've got a 3x2 millimeter rondelle. You'll need the 2 toggle clasps, or the rings from 2 toggle clasps. If you're extending your bracelet, you need your toggle bar. You need some jump rings, or I have some rolo chain here. I think this is 4 millimeter, which it's a rolo chain where the links open, so I kind of use them as jump rings. And any kind of charm that you might have. Double-sided would be better if you're going to reverse, so that way both sides will be finished. So please don't forget to check the description box below the video for all sizes, shapes, colors, amounts, links to places where you can purchase the beads if you need to. So let's get started. Okay, let's get started. So thread your needle with about a little over 2 feet, maybe 2.5 feet of thread. Put on a stop bead and leave enough of a tail to sew in. So I picked up and dropped down to my stop bead, a SuperDuo and an 11-0, and I did that 4 times. I'm going to sew them into a circle by sewing up the first bead after my stop bead and all the other beads as well. So you want it to look like so. So do that and reinforce this. So go around again all the way and just go past your stop bead again. You can even reinforce it a couple times and you'll be exiting the bottom hole of a SuperDuo, and then I want you to sew through the top hole. This is what it looks like. Top hole of the SuperDuo, I'm going to pick up my other color SuperDuo, an 11-0, and so the blue SuperDuo, 11-0 blue, or aqua. I'm going to sew through the top hole of the next SuperDuo. Do that again. SuperDuo, 11-0, SuperDuo, through the next one, top hole of the next gold SuperDuo, and do that 2 more times. Okay, my last SuperDuo, 11-0 SuperDuo. I'm exiting here. I'm going to sew through the next gold one, the bottom hole of the blue one. Make sure that sits into place. And then you're just going to reinforce this all the way around. Okay, reinforced all the way around. I'm exiting the bottom hole of one of the SuperDuos. So right here. Now I'm just going to sew through the top hole. So I'm exiting the SuperDuo that's on either side of this gold SuperDuo. So I'm just going to sew through the top hole, just like that. Okay, so I'm exiting the top hole of this SuperDuo here, and your piece should be curving in a little bit. If it's not, just take your thumb and just give it a little, you don't have to pull it tight, just, get it to curve a bit. All right, I'm going to pick up my rondelle, and every time I'm sewing through the 2 SuperDuos that are on either side of this gold SuperDuo, I'm going to put one of the rondelles in. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up an 8-0, and every time I'm exiting the SuperDuo that's flanking on either side of this 11-0, I'm going to put an 8-0. You're just going to alternate. Rondelle, 8-0. Let's see, I'm pulling in a little bit, so it looks like, so do that all the way around. Okay, adding my last 8-0. So through the SuperDuo, then I'm going to come right through the rondelle. I'm just going to move my thread around a little bit. So I'm just going to go through the next several beads until I come to, you want to be exiting one of the 8-ohs. I just go a little past, you know, just to make sure it's like a complete circle and it feels nice. You don't want to, you know, you just want it snug, just like that. Okay, before I move on, so this is where we are, I'm just going to sew in my tail thread. So, you know, here I'm exiting this little inside here. If you aren't going to reverse, I don't think you really need to do this, but you could if you want. You can just place a little bead here. So let's say if I have a 2 millimeter, you can just, you know, sew through, exiting here, sew through the other side of this 11-oh and put a little 2 millimeter there, but I don't really think it's necessary. I'm just going to sew this thread in, make a knot, and then we'll continue on the other side. So I sewed in my tail thread. Now I'm going to turn it over to this side, and let's continue here. So we're going to pick up an 11-oh, an 8-oh, and an 11-oh. Exiting the 8-oh, I'm just going to sew through the next 8-oh. This is so easy. 11-oh, 8-oh, 11-oh, through the next one, next 8-oh. So we're just going to be close, sort of closing up the side. 11-oh, 8-oh, 11-oh, through the next one. 11-oh, 8-oh, 11-oh, through the last one. Just give a little push in with your finger. This is what we have so far. Let's move on. So we're exiting one of the corner 8-ohs. I'm just going to sew through. I'll just reinforce these one more time, or just one time. I think I'll skip the 8-oh. So I'm coming through the 11-oh, 8-oh, 11-oh, skipping the 8-oh, come through the 11-oh, 8-oh, 11-oh, skip this 8-oh. Like that. And one more time. Yeah, that's good. And then I'm going to, so once you've got them, you know, skipped all your 8-ohs and sewed through the 11-oh, 8-oh, 11-oh, I'm just going to advance and just come out that middle 8-oh of a group of the 11-oh, 8-oh, 11-oh. So just like that. So picking up my green 11-oh, I'm exiting that 8-oh in between the two 11-ohs. I'm going to sew through the next 8-oh that's in between the next two 11-ohs. Kind of get your needle in there, like that. Do that again, 11-oh, sewing through the next middle 8-oh, 11-oh, through the next middle 8-oh, and 11-oh. Oops, through the next one. I just dropped a little bag of beads on the floor. So pop through that one. Like that. And then you can just sew through just all the 11-ohs you just put on. So here. One more, just to straighten them out. Like that. So you have this side done. So it looks like. Okay, so I've gone ahead a few units, but let's say we're gonna sew the 2 units together. So you're just gonna sew them like so. So your last unit, you've finished reinforcing the green beads in the middle. You'll be exiting one of these 8-ohs, maybe this one. Just go through the next bead, so that's going to be my 11-oh, and then through the outside 8-oh. So you want to be exiting one of these 4 outside 8-ohs, wherever you are. Just kind of work your way around until you get there. So this is what it looks like. So now we're going to sew these 2 units together. Okay, so I'm going to pick up an 8-oh. I'm exiting right here. I just want to connect to this side, so I'm just going to, on this bead, or this unit, put on an 8-oh, and another 8-0 and through this one. So just like that, and then just reinforce and come out of the same bead you're exiting. So I'm exiting this 8-0, you know, I just reinforced. I'm just going to sew right through this SuperDuo. Now if it's a little tight, just kind of, you know, wiggle it around till you can get your needle in there. Some of them are tight and some aren't, you know, as I was putting them on. So you'll be exiting this SuperDuo right here. Okay, so I'm exiting this SuperDuo right here. I'm just going to flip my piece around like this. So now I'm on this side, okay? And I'm going to attach this SuperDuo to this SuperDuo. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to pick up a 15-0, one of my rondelles, and a 15-0. I'm exiting this SuperDuo right here. I'm just going to sew down through this one. I'm just moving my piece around so it's easy for me to sew. So here I'm connecting from here to here, like that. I'm going to pick up an 8-0, and I'm going to sew through the next SuperDuo. Like that. So now this is where I am. I'm exiting this SuperDuo. I'm going to pick up a 15-0, a rondelle, and a 15-0. I'm going to sew through the top of this SuperDuo. Just repeating what I did. So just like that. So this is what I have. I'm exiting this SuperDuo right here. And here's that 8-0 I put on back there. Now all I'm going to do is I'm exiting that SuperDuo here. I'm going to sew through the 8-0, no beads on my needle, and then this SuperDuo. And that's going to pull that together. See that? And then you just want to reinforce all the way around. So you're going to go through the 15-0, rondelle, 15-0, SuperDuo, 8-0, SuperDuo, 15-0, rondelle, 15-0, SuperDuo, 8-0, SuperDuo, and when you come out of this bead, you can either go this way and tie some threads in, or go this way and tie your thread in. I think you'll probably end up coming this way, like maybe through this rondelle and through here. Make sure you put some knots in so it stays nice and secure, and that's going to kind of give you a little, you know, once it's secure, it'll give you sort of a little movement there. A quick note about sizing. So when you are sizing your bracelet, you're sewing units together, I want you to size it so that it's a perfect fit for you with the SuperDuos on top. So the rounded part on top. So if I put it on, let me back off a little bit. This is how I want you to size it. So this is the perfect fit. So here, and then you're going to put your clasp on. I've just got enough room for my toggle clasp. If you're reversing, keep it the same way. Always size it for this side. All we're going to do is we're going to just extend the clasp a little bit because it becomes a little bit shorter on this side because you're taking up some space with the rounded part of the SuperDuos. So, it still fits perfectly. You just need to extend your clasp a little bit. So size for this side, and then we'll extend for the other side. All right, so have fun. I'll just give you a quick measurement. So I have about 5 3/4 inch of units, so of beading. So it gave me 9 of my units, and that will give me altogether like a 6.5 inch bracelet with my, with just one of my toggle clasps on, and then the extension will be for the other side. All right, have fun, and I'll see you back here in a few. Let's prep the clasp. So I've taken a toggle clasp. So actually I have 2 of the rings from my from 2 toggle clasps. And what I did was I put my normal jump ring here so I could sew in this direction because this ring is not facing where I wanted to. So I put a jump ring here. And then I took the ring from another toggle clasp and I put a jump ring on the previous one here and added this clasp to this jump ring, so this ring to this jump ring, and then I put on some charms because I think it's fun. Ideally, if you're going to reverse, you want to put on charms that are double-sided. But you don't have to put the charm on, but I think it just looks pretty. Just put a little something sort of hanging there, I think is nice, especially in the summer, because I like dangling things, and you're not wearing sleeves, so you can actually, wear something dangly on your wrists. And then on the toggle bar, I just added 3 jump rings. Actually, I use some chain here, the rolo chain. I think it's 4mm rolo chain. And this chain has, the links open. So I added 3 links, so it's facing the way I want it. So just like that. And so now you're all prepped to put your clasp on. Let's add the clasp. So I've added on a thread, and I've just come through this SuperDuo right here. So we're going to attach here and here. I'm going to pick up an 8/0 and my 3mm rondelle, and I'm going to sew through the ring like so. And then I'm going to pick up a 3mm and an 8/0, and I'm going to sew through the SuperDuo on the other side. So this is how our connection is going to go on. Want to make sure you push that ring in between the beads. You don't want it sitting on the thread. You want it sitting in between the beads. Come on around and reinforce. Just going to, we're exiting here. We're just going to come around this way. So go through the SuperDuo and the 11/0. And then this SuperDuo. Like that. Push that little guy, that ring in. You're just going to have to sort of hold it until you tighten it. So there we go. Just put my thread, there we go. Back up. This one. Through the 8/0 and the rondelle. Make sure you, I know it's kind of hard to do this, but once you get through, you can kind of pull it into shape. So there, through the ring, back down the rondelle, and the 8/0, like that. And this is where I'm going to make sure that that's popped in, and I'm going to pull, there we go. So pull both ends until you have it like this, and then you're just going to sew this thread in. So you can come through here, you can go around this way. Just make sure you tie some knots, and you tie the tail thread in, and it's nice and snug so that it's not going to come out from those rondelles. See that? And you're just going to do the exact same thing for the other side. So you're just going to put this on here, through the ring, like that, and just repeat what you did here. Okay, all done. And I thought that was so much fun. I love it either way. It fits really nicely both ways. Just like I said, you have to extend, you most likely extend your clasp a little for this side, but I think it's so pretty. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you make it and post it on Facebook in all different colors. What a great little spring bracelet, don't you think? Okay, there you go. Take care. I'll see you next time.